Hello, everyone. Madam Secretary, you please do the roll call.
I will, thank you. Richard Maston,
Here.
Russell Webb,
Here.
Rachel Anger is here, Kathy Calhoun,
Here.
Sharon Roy, not here. Pam Moser,
Here.
Paula Noble,
Here.
John Kalila,
Here.
Michael Shelton,
Here.
Kathy Dunham,
Here.
Kenny Curley,
Here.
Yukiko Hayata,
Here.
Pam Delabar,
Here.
Marilee Griswold. And I know she's out of the country. She was going to try to join us. Oh, is she there?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm here.
Ah, hi,
I'm
Marilee.
here.
Great. You get the gold star.
Hi.
Hootenimi,
Sorry.
Carol Krasnowski,
Here.
Ann Mathis,
Here.
Daryl Newkirk.
I'm here.
Is Shelley Perkins on the call? You know Shelley yet. Eileen Tartaglia.
Here.
Is Christy Wolam on the call?
Here.
James Simbro,
Here.
Matthew Wong,
Here.
and Eva Chen. Eva not on the call. I'm going to circle back to Sharon Roy. Is she
Here.
not? Oh, Sharon.
here.
Great. And then we go to Shelley Perkins. Is Shelley on the call? Okay, I'll keep an eye out for Shelley. We appear to have all the board members in attendance. Are there any panelists whose names I have not mentioned? Thank you. I'll turn it back to you, Mr. President.
We can go ahead and do the orders of the day. So do we have any changes or additions to the orders of the day?
I'm raising my hand here, sorry.
Okay, Rachel, go ahead.
There it is, to make it official. I would like to pull out, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth a little bit. Item number 2, which was an executive committee motion, and I would like to move that to discussion in executive session. So I'm asking for ratification of motions 1, 3, and 4.
Okay. Daryl?
I would like to know why item number 7 in closed session is in closed session, because it doesn't meet the board member guidelines. It's not litigation. It's not protest or discipline. It's not judge's advancement. It has nothing to do with personnel matters, and it has nothing to do with legislative issues involving our strategy. In order for something that doesn't fit that, it needs 2/3 vote of the board to go into closed session. So I would like an explanation of why that item is in closed session. Because to me personally, I would think that the board would want this in open session so the members know what we are discussing.
Okay. Pam Moser?
Can we see it? I can't see what it is. All we have on the screen is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Under the new thing, it's number 8.
Okay, but can we move up the screen so we can see something?
Well, it's in closed session, so it's not going to be displayed.
I'll put it in the chat. How's that?
Okay.
Daryl, is item number 7 going to be presented by Kathy Calhoun?
Yes.
Kathy Calhoun, do you want to speak on item number 7?
I have no problem with having that in open session.
Okay. So let's do one of these at a time. We've got Rachel is moving item number 2. Do I have a second on Rachel's?
I'll second.
Okay.
Second.
Russell made the second. Any objections to moving item number 2 to executive session. Daryl, you have your hand up?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take it down.
Pam Mosier, you have your hand up? Okay. That motion passes unanimously, so we're going to move item number 2 to executive session. Daryl, your motion is to move item number 7 into open session.
It's Kathy Calhoun's motion. I have it as 8 on my agenda.
Okay.
I really apologize. I have a point of order.
Go ahead, Rachel. You're on mute, Rachel. You're still on mute.
Shame on me. My actual motion was to move to ratify items 1, 3, and 4 and to move 2 to executive session.
Oh, okay. Doing that all in one motion. Okay. Are there any objections in Russell? That's still your second, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Are there any objections to ratifying number 1, number 3, and number 4, moving number 2 to executive session? Seeing no objection, Rachel's motion passes unanimously. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no objections to Daryl's motion, moving Kathy Calhoun's item to open session. Rachel, we will put that in, where do you want to put that in open session? New business? You're shaking your head yes, so.
There we go. Yes, new business would be appropriate.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, any other additions or changes to the orders of the day? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the new orders of the day?
So moved.
Thank you, Daryl.
Second,
Is that Pam Delabar?
yes.
Thank you. Any objections? Seeing no objection, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Rachel, I'm going through your agenda here. Nothing came in for special committees, correct?
Nothing came in for, correct.
Okay, how about other committees? Anything come in for that?
I have nothing for other committees.
Okay, then we're gonna go right into new business, which is.
How about number 3?
You're looking at an old agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, let's make sure.
Yeah,
Let's
make sure. What is number 3?
The Caterer report update.
I had that one listed under old business.
Right. Me too.
Me too.
All right.
So let's do the
Exactly.
what's on the screen right now. I see listed as number 5, disaster relief, the Maui Beijing, and that's Kathy.
Yep.
Hey, so you want me to start to speak to that?
Kathy, what was your question?
Do you want me to start to speak to the disaster relief Maui and Beijing?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm sure we are all very well aware of the tragic circumstances driven by weather that has impacted both locations, being China, primarily Beijing, and Maui. While we can't do anything to reverse what has happened and undo the pain and suffering that those folks have encountered, I think we can do something to be at least a helping hand to help get people and their cats back on their feet. So my motion is to support the impact of the Maui fire and the Beijing flood. CFA to donate $10,000, $5,000 earmarked for Maui, $5,000 earmarked for Beijing. This is a maximum. If we don't spend it, that is certainly within bounds. To support the cats impacted by recent disasters. The Maui funds will be managed by Michael Sheldon, and the Beijing funds will be managed by the International Division Committee. All distributions must be supported by receipts. That is my motion.
Pam Delabar?
I have absolutely no problems with the money going to disaster relief. Definitely don't have a problem. What I'm wondering is, why are we circumventing our established protocols and procedures for the distribution?
I can speak to that.
Well, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
We have established protocols and procedures for people who know and have the contacts in the various areas worldwide. In fact, we're training a new person for international disaster relief. Why you want to circumvent that for Maui and for Beijing?
Is that okay? So you indicated. May I address that?
Go ahead,
Rich?
Kathy. Yep.
You indicated that we have procedures and processes for distribution of funds for disaster relief. I don't know what those are. I truly don't know what those are. What are the policies? How do you qualify? And if that's something that would be really appreciated if it was published so that we would know. But I don't know what they are, Pam.
Okay, it all falls under Charlene Campbell.
I know who it falls under.
Well, that's a big start on the protocol. We contact the different areas. In fact, the different areas that people that we've had contact with since about 1993, also with the different organizations, and I can get in touch with people I know that are right now on the ground in Maui, and if I don't have a contact for Beijing, then I ask, hey guys, who do you know? Which areas are hurt? Are needing help, especially which organizations are needing help in their rescue and relief
Rich, may I
for the
expedite
animals
this?
affected by disaster.
I like to expedite this.
Okay, Kathy.
I have no intentions of circumventing, or my point is the people need help. I want them to get help. That is the one and only reason for this motion. If the board feels more comfortable about these funds going to disaster relief, I have no problem with that, so long as the individual and these cats get the help they need at this critical time.
Kathy, do you want to amend your motion?
I will amend it that the support be directed at the point where it says to be managed, that we strike everything after that. I do want to see receipts. I won't strike that, but that to be managed by disaster relief.
Okay. May I have a second?
Russell.
Okay, Russell made the second. Kathy made the motion. Daryl?
I would like to have some. I know what went on in Maui because it's been on the news. What happened in Beijing? A tornado, a typhoon, a fire?
Floods.
What happened?
It says floods. It says in the motion, Daryl, Beijing floods.
Oh, okay, I see that now. I'm sorry. Okay, who's impacted, and who has stepped up to manage relief for the cats and the breeders?
No one has stepped. Can I address this, Rich?
Go ahead, Kathy.
That's the point of this. We haven't reached out. We haven't put, said that anything is available. We haven't done that. So we don't know who may be there. Maybe there wasn't anybody that's in our community. But if there is, and this information gets out that there's funds available, people may come forth where they did come forward before because they didn't know that this was a possibility. You don't know what you don't know. That's the point of this.
Daryl, you want to continue?
Well, I'm more confused than I was when I started then, because if we don't even have a clue that any of our breeders or exhibitors or our clubs have been impacted by this flooding, I mean, no one has come forward. Kathy, you're in charge of the ID.
Daryl, people don't know, particularly outside of the U.S., they don't know about things like disaster relief. They don't know. So we would start to put as feelers on the ground to see. This is a maximum. If no one comes forward, we don't spend the money. It's not like we're going to throw money out the window. But in the instance that there is, we want to have the board's approval to recognize it and do something about it.
Okay, so when did the flood?
I haven't had anybody come from Maui to me to say that either on an individual level.
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only board member that has been contacted by people wanting to know why the board, has not stepped up to make donations to the people and cats in Maui. It's more than one that have contacted me. And so my other thing is, what is your plan for what's your plan to notify these people in Beijing that we've got funds available?
Kathy, you want to respond?
We would work through our international division representatives, through our people on the ground, let them know. Some of this may be via WeChat, however we can get the word out. But we would be very careful in making sure that the funds were spent appropriately. Daryl, you know that I am not one to give money away.
Yes, I know that.
Know that. That's why part of this motion is that all distributions must be supported by receipts. We're not going to just, inappropriately distribute money to people who just say, hey, I want some. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to get the word out the best way we can, hopefully get to the people who have been impacted and help them out, and document how those funds were spent for the purview of anyone.
Kathy, you all set?
I am.
Pam Delabar?
When money goes into to support disasters, it often goes to the agencies that are taking in the animals because people cannot get housing or whatever that allows them to have, the shelters don't allow animals in them. Now, there are several states that have annexes to their disaster plans, which may happen in Hawaii, to allow. We don't usually pay for the hotel rooms because you've got Salvation Army and Red Cross coming in, and FEMA paying for those rooms for people to stay. What we usually do, if the cats are being taken in by the local agency, like we have in Maui, there's a big group, and I know that I personally have donated to it, and I know several others have as well, that are taking care of the animals while the people are trying to get their lives back together with insurance and God knows what else they have to do. Receipts are not the easiest thing to come by at that time. So
Pam,
if we wait a
Kathy,
second, Kathy.
Okay. Go ahead, finish, Pam.
If we have to have receipts, then I will rescind my support for it going through disaster relief, because oftentimes, you're buying Clorox or something like that for disinfectant and stuff. So, I'll go with your regular plan.
Pam, you all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Shelton?
I just wanted to address a comment Daryl made about whether or not, about him being contacted by people saying, why hasn't CFA reached out? First, that's kind of what we're doing now, is we're determining how we can do this. The board cannot move as quickly as individuals do. Second, I reached out to the people in Hawaii before the fires were out, wanting to know what we can do to help and what people, CFA members and individuals were contacting me saying, how can we help? And I wanted to get that information out to them. So there has been information disseminated on how individuals and clubs could help out victims of the Maui fires. That has already been started long before today.
Mike, thank you for sending out that notification. I did receive it as well. Are there any more questions or comments for Kathy? Carol?
Yes, a further correction is needed to the motion, because it says the Maui funds to be managed by Michael Shelton, the Beijing funds to be managed by the International Division Committee. I thought all the funds were supposed to be managed by the Disaster Relief Committee. Am I wrong?
I'm going to ask Kathy to clarify her motion, because now we have Pam Delabar that's recommending that it go to her original motion. And the current motion on the floor is the amended motion, and it was seconded by Russell.
You want me to speak?
Go ahead. Well,
okay. So the motion, that indicated that disaster relief would manage the distribution. I have no issue with that. I think the concern came up when we talked about receipts. And what I wanted to mention was when disaster relief sends money to an organization that may be helping a large amount of people, we're not asking for receipts for the paper towels, the Clorox, the this, the that. We're asking to have documentation that the money went to X shelter. That we $1,000, whatever the number is. We don't want to get petty with this. We want to make sure that we are doing what we need to do for the welfare of the cats. That is simply all this is. So I'm fine with the disaster relief. I have to talk to Pam to find out if there would be pertinent internationally. If not, the ID committee will do it. But I don't want us to lose sight of what we're trying to have happen here. And as Michael said, the question has come: where is CFA on this? CFA is on this. This is where CFA. This is what we're trying to do now. Let's not get hung up on the administration. Let's just make sure we make this happen.
thank you, Kathy. Rachel, you had your hand up and took it down. Okay. Pam Delabar?
Thank you.
how about the Florida hurricane? What was her name? Idalia. We had some disastrous flooding going on the Gulf coast of Florida. If I can get more money for disaster relief, I will. But you know, we do have that, and I'm also watching some few situations over here in Europe. But I can go with Kathy's motion right now, even though that we have been in touch with people in Maui. Have at it.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Kathy, do you need to restate your motion for clarification?
I don't see the motion on the screen anymore. How about we, if Pam is comfortable with this, why don't we revert to the original motion? If for Maui, it's best for Michael to work with disaster relief, he'll have the flexibility of being able to do that.
Is that your amended motion?
Yes.
Okay, Russell, you agree? I didn't hear you, Russell.
I agree.
Okay, so we're going to stick with the original motion. Aline, are you having trouble with the screen?
Rich, she just texted me and said her system went down. She's rebooting.
Okay, thank you, Christy.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there any more questions on the disaster relief motion made by Kathy, second by Russell? Okay, are there any objections to the motion? Seeing no objection, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kathy, for bringing this up.
Thank you, board.
Okay, Rachel, we're going to go on to, I believe now, old business category report from Aline.
Correct.
Okay, Christy, is Aline still with us, or is she rebooting her whole system?
Yeah, she just said the system shut down, not sure why rebooting. So if we could give her a few minutes. Or do you want to?
Well, are you prepared to
She's
do
not
it?
saying anything else.
Christy?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you prepared to take it on?
I can.
Okay, let's do it.
All righty. So we wanted just to provide a brief update regarding a conversation that we had at the annual, providing the Cattery offspring reports to the breed council members. So what we've run into once we started producing these reports is that it takes approximately like 5 or 6 minutes to issue these reports. And while that doesn't seem like a lot, when you're trying to send out, let's say 900 reports, it really bogs down the system and prevents everyone else from doing their day-to-day tasks. So basically what we just wanted to do is let you know that we are still working on that. And the anticipated date would probably be November 1st versus what we had initially talked about. Her power cord died, as she said. At any rate, so what we're just trying to do is provide a quick update to the board to let everyone know that we are still working on getting those Cattery offspring reports out to the breed council members with an anticipated completion date of November 1st.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Daryl?
Annette provided some feedback to Aline. And do you know anything about that, Christy? She didn't share with me what it was. I'm not sure for the Breeding Standards Committee, but I asked her that I would be happy to share her thoughts, but she thought Aline had it covered.
I'm not aware of any feedback from Annette.
Okay, well, she gave it to Aline. I know that.
Okay.
My
She's saying
understanding,
something here.
my understanding of some of the confusion was when was the start date and when was the completion date. There was some confusion there. And with the help of Rachel going through some of the minutes, we were able to determine that Aline had reported in a comment she made, I believe, at the Breed Council Secretary meeting, that there was a statement, if you didn't receive anything by September 1st, notify me or notify us directly. But then somewhere further into some of the transcript, there was maybe some discussion that it was going to start September 1st, not be promised it was going to be completed by September 1st. And based on the number of category reports that need to be done, and James, maybe you can help, it was hundreds. And I think the determining factor on this was how much time was going to be spent in central office on a weekly basis to run these reports. And I think it was close to 20 hours a week that it was going to take. And it was roughly an 8-week project. I don't know if that's since changed since the discussion happened. James?
Yeah, I'll just weigh in. As far as the timeline, I seems to me I remember that we were trying to have them all out by September 1st, but obviously that didn't happen. Just a little background on what's going on is we had no idea that we couldn't run more than one report at a time. And as Christy said, one report, depending on the size of the category, some do run in less than a minute, but most of them we're finding are taking upwards to 5-6 minutes to run each, and we can't run any more than one at a time. We had a day where we tried to run 2-3 at a time, and it virtually locked up our entire system. Everybody from Shirley doing scoring to registration to processing ECATs just ground to a halt. So that's the reason it's taking so much longer.
Thanks, James. Christy, any more to report on this?
No, just other than I also had in my notes that it would be done, we would notify everyone by the 1st. So I'm glad Rachel was able to find that other documentation. But yeah, so our anticipated completion date is November 1st in that area. So anybody has any questions for some of the ones that have already been produced, feel free to reach out to us, but hopefully that is our goal.
Rachel?
So just one more comment on that. There was no motion that had the date of September 1st as when the reports would be delivered to Breed Council members. So all of this entire exercise has been simply just a review, kind of a recap, so that everybody knows exactly where we stand. No additional motion is necessary. Thanks.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
Okay. Thank you, Christy, for taking that. Aline, are you back?
Thank you.
I am. Sorry about that.
Okay. She's
That
shaking
is
her head
everything
yes.
I have for open session. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then I'm going to adjourn the meeting and thank everybody for attending.